Guess I don't have the water here. It's all good. Can't find my water, but we are streaming. What is happening, my beautiful humans? My beautiful humans. We're going to talk about something today that might ruffle some feathers. It might bother some of you guys today, but I think someone needs to talk about it, and people are not talking about this. Money for your travel, for your business, like what's going on, okay? And let me just make sure that we are locked in, because we're going to stream this here and we're streaming on live. So one thing I do on Instagram Live. So one thing I do want to say is, if you're here streaming in right now, or if you're watching the replay, can you just leave a hello, like where you're from? I love reading and hearing from you guys. Really makes my day in the mornings, reading through you all's comments. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me on live? Can you guys hear me here? Just before we get started. Make sure you guys can hear me. I just want to talk about this. Like, is money really your problem? And I say this because I've done a lot of calls lately with people. And I've read a lot of the comments on some of these live streams that I've done. And people are like, well, I can't afford to do that yet. That seems to be like the common theme. Like, I want to travel, but I can't afford to do that yet. And for me, I just, like, is that really the problem? So you mean to tell me that there's not people out there who had nothing and they were able to build something from nothing? Because I'd like to argue that maybe it's the courage. I think your lack of courage is the problem. No one's going to tell you that, but I'll say that to you. Actually, let me start streaming on Instagram too. I forgot to push record. So I would argue that it's not your lack of money that's the problem. I think it will be it's the lack of courage. The lack of courage to try something new, the lack of courage to be seen starting at the bottom, the lack of courage to be seen doing something that you hold yourself maybe to a higher standard to do. I feel it really hurts my heart to hear people who I was on a call with someone the other day, and they're so excited about doing things, but they don't have the money, so they're going to hold themselves back and not do it. And I was just like, but you have the opportunity to. I think a lot of times people forget the opportunity is important. It's important. And it's never, money is a resource. I say this a lot. Money is a resource, okay? Money is a resource. And the problem is never a lack of resources. It's always a lack of resourcefulness, okay? The lack of resourcefulness. There's people that you know. What's up, Instagram Live? You guys are just jumping in on YouTube Live right now. But it's always a lack of resourcefulness, okay? So if you don't have the money right now to do something, instead of saying, what can I do, how, let's start with who. Who does have the money that can help you out do something? That can help you. Because a lot of people are always saying, I don't have the money to do it. Like, well, who do you know that does? No, but I don't want to ask them for money because it makes me seem like, well, that's lack of courage. That's lack of courage. Asking for help. You need to be brave to ask for help if you've never done it. I know a lot of my audience are fight alone people. Some of my audience, you guys have fought alone for a long time. There's lack of courage to say, hey, I need help. Asking for help requires courage sometimes, especially if you haven't asked for it your whole life. So it's not lack of money, it's lack of courage. Understand that. Because if you give someone money and you take away their courage, I'd say about 50% of the people are in the same situation they're in. Where if you just gave them courage, they would all go out and do exactly what they want to do. I think if you took away their money and you just gave them courage, they would go out and do exactly what they wanted to do. I've been reading a lot lately, and courage is like the common thread in so many successful people. Like, it's courage. Courage, guys. Like, some of you are so scared of having other people see you start at zero. Like, some of you are so scared to have people see you start at zero. YouTube, getting people to watch you on YouTube. Some of you guys are so scared because you're like, well, no one's going to watch me. I'm only going to have 3 views, and that makes me feel bad. Have some courage. Money solves money problems, because I've done both. I've been in both. You guys don't know, when I went to Bali, I had my money set to travel for a year. And when I got to Bali and the world shut down, I was running out of money that I could actually touch. Like, and it was like, I kept saying, like, I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have enough money to keep on giving my time to film these YouTube videos. And it was like, wait a minute, wait, there has to be something else. What resources do I have around me? What resources do I have? Like, well, it's like, I need to learn better sales. I need to learn better at closing. I need to take some online programs, but I don't have money. I don't have money to do it. So let me show you something, and you guys can do this. I mean, feel free to do it with me. I have some programs that have like this option. But what I would do is like, well, let me be resourceful. And some people might not agree with what I did, but it's what I did to be resourceful with what I had at the time. Is I took programs that had 30-day money back guarantees. When I didn't have any money at all, I had barely enough just to live. And I was in Bali, like this is during the time of creating YouTube videos. Like, I took programs and courses that had a 30-day money back guarantee. And I don't feel guilty about it. Like, I was being resourceful. They offered it. I didn't say it. They said 30-day money back guarantee, no questions. I say, okay, cool. I'm gonna take the program, then I'm gonna return it. Like, it was just being resourceful. Like I say, most people won't agree with that, but I think that when you understand it's not a lack of money, it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. And when you can get to the root of it, people are just scared to have people look at them in a different identity than the identity they want you to see. Than a different identity they want you to see. And I deal with it a lot, okay? I deal with a lot. I deal with it from being a pro athlete and then walking away from the sport when I was at the peak of my career, making the most money I'd ever made, having the most safety and security, guaranteed contract for another 2 more years. Everything was starting to feel safe and great. And that was my identity. But I was like, well, I actually really want to inspire people. And I know if I'm traveling, I can inspire people more. That wasn't a money problem. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make money, but it was more of a courage problem. It's courage to be seen as something different than how people have seen you before. It's scary, guys. It's scary. That's why courage is needed. If it wasn't scary, then no courage is needed. It's just like faith. Some of you guys are like, yeah, I have faith and I'll believe it when I see it. And it's like, that's not the point, because faith means you can't see it. And that's when faith is activated. Faith is like a glow in the dark. Like, if there's light there, then it's not needed. Like, I have faith this is going to work out. Well, because you got a nice little bank account here. You got friends that live there. You speak the language. But faith is like real faith. You don't see anything. Nothing. Nothing is evident around you. You have to all you have is what you believe. So this is something that I think when you can really get this, when you can understand that it's courage that you lack. And it takes courage to say that you lack courage. For me, there's so many times in my life that I'm like, man, I don't know what I should do. Like, I'm not sure. Should I just travel? It's like, should I go back to France? Should I go back to play basketball? Like, I think this even now, like the thoughts that go in my mind now is like, well, I have a lot of options right now. You know, working on a lot of projects and a lot of, I have different apartments in places. I'm working on building a home, like a lot of different things. And it's like, well, do I just go back to basketball? That's easy. I'm getting back in shape. I have teams that will take me. Do I want to do that though? I was like, I don't really want to, but that goes best with the identity that people have of me, of being this full-time traveler or a pro athlete. So there's a lot of pressure there sometimes. And you might feel this in your life as well, where you might feel pressure to go back to what people think where you should be. But that's living a life to please them. And you got to remember, if you're trying to please everyone else, you're trying to be friends with everyone else, and you become an enemy of yourself. This is what needs to be remembered. Like, it's the courage to look foolish, the courage to do what people think you're not going to do. That's what bravery is. And for everyone, bravery is something different for everyone. At every level, bravery is a different level. What's up, IG Live, by the way? Courage is different on every level. Like, before, I remember traveling, and then it was like, well, I don't know how I'm gonna keep traveling. So courage was just to go and travel. Then it was like, Well, I'm traveling now. I'm full-time traveling. I can keep doing this for a while, but now it's like, do I build a business that's really tough and I don't know anything about it? Then that was courage. Then it's like, okay, money's coming in now. And it's like, I'm still traveling. I'm a full-time traveler. Do I want to keep doing this or do I want to kind of settle down somewhere? And it's like, well, I don't know. Courage is like slowing down. Courage is settling down. Me traveling the world full time, that doesn't require any courage at all. It doesn't require any courage. And at this point in my life, it doesn't even require money. Because now I have resources and I'm not scared to ask people. I can ask people on my YouTube channel, hey, anyone here? I need a place to stay for a week. Like, it doesn't require any courage for that. And I looked at, well, what's the next courage thing for me? And I was like, for me in my life, courage is like going and spending some time with my family. That's what courage is now. You know, I have a place, I'm living here in Mexico, gonna have a home in Mexico. This is for sure. So now courage for me is different. So like, where is the next ring of the ladder that I need to pull up? And now it's like, well, courage is going back home for a little bit. Courage is, it was my father's birthday like 3 days ago. And as I call them and FaceTiming and I see my family, I see my little niece, I see everybody, and I look at them getting older. And I mean, they look at me probably getting older as well. And I'm like, wow, like I want to spend more time at home. But identity would be just go back to basketball, Luke. You got 5-6 years left of being in great shape to play. But it's not what I want. It's in this moment. So it's like, well, do I go home then? That goes against my identity of being a full-time traveler. That takes bravery. To be in America, I don't really want to live in America, but it takes bravery, courage. I was like, well, if I'm in the States and I stay there for like 6 weeks, my business that I run now, my business, it was challenging at first, but now my business, it takes 1 day a week. I work 1 day a week and that takes care of everything. So it's like, well, when I go back to the States, should I just get like a little part-time job? But that goes against my identity. I've never worked before for somebody. So I'm like, do I go back and get a job at this travel shop that they keep asking me to work there? I don't know. Then do I stay, get a little apartment next to my home and just stay there for a few weeks with my family? That takes courage. It takes courage to go against the norm like that. Because everything is about your identity. That's the most powerful thing you guys need to understand. Your identity is the most powerful thing you have. So if you have an identity, whatever you make your identity, you'll die defending it. So a lot of people, their identity, let's give a very simple example. A lot of people's identity is I suck at math. And here's the thing, as long as you keep that as your identity, you'll suck at math. Your identity, and it has a bunch of belief systems with it. What's up, IG Live? Your identity has a bunch of belief systems with it. Like some of you, I know a lot of you guys who are following me, I know at least half of you guys have the identity and the belief of like, you know, I'm better on my own. I'm better off on my own. I'm better off on my own. That's identity. So if you really truly believe that you're better off on your own, why would you ever look for someone to be with other people? Why would you ever ask for someone for help? Another, probably this is even more of my audience, some of you guys say, I'm best under pressure. I work best under pressure. I work best under pressure and I work best when my back's against the wall. That's your identity. So if you believe you're better when your back is against the wall, what do you think you're always going to be searching for? A wall to put your back on. That's how the brain works. The clients, the people that I work with, this is what runs them. And then when you can see it in front of you, then you're like, oh my gosh, I can change this. I can change this identity. I can make it, my life is better when I'm with other people, when I'm serving other people. So there's these identities is what you defend, and the identity becomes your cage. But listen, you created that cage. People gave you ideas, but you decided to accept those ideas and take them on as part of your identity. And the second that you go too far away from your identity, you'll always come back. So some of you guys are used to being in shape or used to being around a certain weight. And you have a little bit of stretch point. You got maybe 10, 15 pounds you can go. But once you cross that 15 pounds, you're like, I got to get back to my comfort, my area, my identity. And you'll always come back to that. If you guys look at my vlogs from probably 2020, I was probably 25 pounds heavier than I am now. But then something clicks and I'm like, this is not my identity. I'm used to being in shape and I'm used to being able to sprint and do 20 pull-ups and run and do all this. So slowly get back to identity. And I say that because when you're stretched beyond and you want to change that, it takes courage to break out of that, to change your identity. And a lot of times we break out of that and then we use our excuse to come back to it. It's because I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the money to do it. By the way, what's going on, guys? What's up, Trav on IG Live? I see some of you guys. What's up, Travelers Bazaar? What's going on? Donovan, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Gonzik? What's up? Malgore, Chili. You guys got some interesting names. Omar, what's up? Adrian, Vegas, what's going on? You just watched the $1,000 YouTube video. Amazing, amazing. Wait till you watch the $10,000 one. Wait till you watch that. But I promise you guys that it's so much about courage. The courage to do the things that you've never done before. The courage to look stupid in front of other people. Like the courage to look like a fool. The courage to be seen starting at the bottom. The courage to be seen struggling. The courage to ask for help. The courage to be the oldest kid in the classroom. Like these all require courage. Not money. What's up, Smiling Buddha? What's up, Alex? What's up, guys? I see you guys all here on IG and YouTube. But that's what it's about, my friends. You have to have the courage. That's it. Stop using money as an excuse. Money is an excuse. Money is important. Yes, I love money. I can help more people with money. I can be more of who I am with money. Yes, that's true. But to not do something I want to do and blame it on money? Really? Like I want to help charity, but I don't have money to do it. You have time. Why don't you go down to the charity place and go give? You have knowledge. Inspire people who do have money to help you help other people. Last week, so if you guys don't know, I went to help the people in the hurricane victims here. I don't even want to say victims. I don't like using that word. The hurricane, the people who were suffered from the hurricane. A lot of them had no lights, no power, so a lot of their homes were destroyed. Some of these roads that I went on, I'm gonna have another video uploading soon on that. But some of them, we could barely get there. I could barely get there on my motorcycle. And I have an off-road motorcycle, and I could barely get there because the roads were just so bad. And trees were down. It was a mess. But I knew I had to help. Okay. And now I'm not the most liquid I've ever been in my life, meaning I don't have the most cash I've ever had. And with everything crashing in crypto, I'm really big into crypto. So I've been just buying more crypto now that things are down. But I can't take any of that out because I'd be losing money. So now I'm like, well, I'm probably the least liquid I've been in a very long time, but I want to help out. I have to help. And I don't like putting things on credit. I was like, I got to use a credit card, help people out. I got to find a way to do it. I reached out to some people here and they helped me out. But I was going regardless. It took courage for me to ask people to help me out. It cost a good amount of money to do everything you guys saw in the video. Like we spent hundreds of dollars on rights, but it also cost a lot of time to drive there. It cost gas. I had to get a hotel every time. I needed space. I needed a quiet place so I could work. So there never was any downtime for even me. And I was on a beach and I had no time to even do anything. I went to the beach, I think once or twice. And it was just nonstop, giving out food, going in the mountains for probably 8 hours a day, not getting paid at all for it. I'm giving my money to do it. That took courage. Money helped to do more, but it took courage first. It took courage for me to ask my audience. I asked you guys to help me. I asked if you guys would help support me. If you don't want to help support me, help support these people. On the first day, nobody donated anything, made no money. So I had to get the hotel. I had to get all these different things. I had to get food, gas, had to help out the people that were helping other people as well. Then day 2, still no one's donated any money. No one's contributed at all. So I'm still running low, but I'm like, well, I'm going to help the best I can. And then what do you know? On day 3, because I kept asking people started to help me out. People started to help me out. I probably spent, I don't know, hundreds of dollars of my own money, but then just like that, people started to help. And now I had double what I had before. Not because of the money that people donated, but because I had the courage to ask. That's the only reason people gave. I had the courage to ask. So it's about courage, my friends. It's about courage. Because you want to know a secret, and we talk about this in my group coaching. The courage will get you the money. Having courage will get you the money. Because if you get the money, you don't have courage, then what good is the money? You won't take any risk with it. If you don't take any risk, you probably won't grow. You'll probably just save it all. You'll be scared to invest it. You'll be scared to invest in yourself. You'll be scared to invest in other ventures that can help get you more money. You'll just hold on to it and cling to it. And then just stay stagnant, not moving. And anything like that starts to die. So I just want to remind you this, that maybe your problem isn't the money. The problem is your courage. It doesn't take money to scroll on it. If you want to go to, people have been writing me a lot lately wanting to go to Bali. Yeah, it takes money to get a flight there. But you know what doesn't take money and just takes courage? Reaching out to 100 people who already live there and asking them what you can do to help them. That takes courage. Reaching out to people who are already in a place you want to go and tell them you'll work for free to help them. That takes courage. Researching ways to get deals or coupons or work online or whatever, that takes courage. Working double shifts at your 9-to-5 job so that you can be coached on the side on how to build your side hustle, but that takes courage. It takes courage. And here you got to understand, you have to understand that courage is a muscle, okay? We talk about this a lot in coaching. It's a muscle, everything. Strength, confidence, it's a muscle. Courage is a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger you get, the more you can take risks. But there's the other side of the coin. The less you use it, the less you get stronger at it. So you have people who don't take a risk. Their life doesn't require any risk. I have people like this very close to me in my life. They don't take risks. They don't take any risks. Their risk is zero. They go to a job they're 100% sure of. They get a salary they know they're 100% going to get. They take the route that they know they're 100% going to take to get home. They go to the supermarket that 100% has everything that they ever need. And they know exactly where it is 100%. They take their, whatever people get for vacations, I don't know, 2 weeks, a month, a year, or how much people get. They're for sure they're going to get that. So courage is not even needed for the life that they have. So when you have people, and we're going to bring it right back here, and we're going to wrap it up. If you have a life that doesn't require any courage, then that's why money is such a big deal, because it's all money for you. Your life requires money because you live a life that doesn't require courage. When you can start to live a life that requires courage, you'll realize that money is a tool, and the courage is the muscle that wields that tool. You can have all the money in the world. If you don't take any risk, you won't invest it. You won't hire help. So this is something that you have to understand. It's courage. It's always been courage. There's just been times where you've been so hyped up, you just show courage without thinking about it. But it's a muscle. The more you work your courage, the stronger you get. And the less you work it, the more you get the opposite of that. That's what hurts you. That's the problem of security. Someone who's had security their whole life, like let's say you travel and you always travel with security. Let's say you always travel with security. You don't have to think at all. You don't have to do nothing. I've had security before, okay? I've been in places where I've had security with me. I don't have to think about anything. I had one security guy. he was I can't say what he was, but he was very good at his job. Okay. So not only was he great at his job, but he noticed everything. And he was probably one of the best security that I've ever been around. I didn't have to think about anything. But when you don't have security, here's the thing. When you don't have security, now all of a sudden, you have to be alert. You have to notice the things going on around you. You have to do all that stuff. And if you've never done it before, it's going to be a struggle because you've never done it before. So almost most of my life, I've had someone to clean up after me, to clean up around me. The last few years living in Bali, we had staff. Like I had staff in all my places. They cleaned up. They washed the dishes. They did all that stuff. Before that, I had a cleaning lady when I lived in Europe. I had a cleaning lady who come through my house once or twice a week, clean up everything, wash all the dishes, do everything. So I didn't do it. Before that, living in places, I had friends that I would just pay, hey, can you guys do this? And they clean it up all for me. Growing up in my household, my mom and we had staff in my home who would come and babysit us and clean up all that. So I never had to do it. So now if I were to live by myself, I would struggle doing all that because my brain doesn't even notice to put things away. My brain doesn't even notice to close the cabinet. My brain doesn't even notice like there's only this much milk left. Don't put it back in the fridge because someone else is going to pick it up and be like, what is this? And I live by myself most of my life. So there's things that I didn't notice that, oh, when you have another person, it's pretty important to pick your shoes up from the middle of the ground because I know they're there, but they don't. So all this is so important to understand because when you understand this, you understand that you're just getting weaker in certain areas. That's what the real struggle is. The struggle is you get weaker in certain areas. And as you get weaker in those areas, what you end up happening is just like you lose things that you don't know you're losing because you're not using them. So many of you guys right now, you think you're in shape because you go to a gym, or maybe you don't go to a gym at all, but let's do some sprints. Like let's do some full out sprints. And when you realize like, wow, I haven't sprinted or any of that in a long time, those muscles hurt. As I was doing sprints, I hadn't sprinted full out in a long time since being a pro. And my groins were hurting, the back of my hamstrings were hurting. I jogged, but I never did full out sprints changing direction. It's something that I don't have that ability anymore, but those muscles, they just need to be woken up. And so for some of you guys watching this here, you need to wake up that courage. Do some things that force you to be brave. Work hard, be brave. That's why I say it, meaning you take risks. If you never do it, I promise you it goes away and you don't even realize it's gone. And before you know it, you can't even touch your toes. Before you know it, you can't do the splits anymore. It's not that you can't do it, you've lost the ability a little bit. But as anything, you're still able to, you just need to keep on working at it. So that's kind of everything. I want to thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of you here, YouTube Live. Let me get to some of these comments real quick. If any of you have questions, ask your questions right now. Because I'm about to get off here, get some food, or go to the gym actually. I'm starting to build and bring great knowledge and build my channel. Amazing. Yes, keep building that. Keep building that. And by the way, also, if people are looking for, if some of you guys are looking for some help, I'm gonna give away two. I'm gonna give away 2 clarity calls. 1 clarity call here on Instagram and 2 on here on YouTube. That's just a free coaching session if you guys are interested in that, which to get you some clarity. And if you're invited to, you can come into some more opportunities that I have for you. I'll give out 2 of those. For YouTube, just send me an email. You guys have to go down to the description, find my email, send it to me. And Instagram, you guys got to send me just send me a DM. Bill, let's see. What's up, Luke? What's up, guys? What's up, Smiling Buddha? From Kiev, Privid, Jak Sprava. From Vilnius, nice, Lithuania, what's going on? I hear you. They say, do nothing outside your comfort zones. By now, it's true. If you do things that make you uncomfortable later, you'll be like, why? Absolutely. Because you realize it was all for nothing. Like, why wouldn't you do something outside your comfort zone? Like, for what? Why would you stay in your comfort zone? Look at all the people who stay in their comfort zone. The world is full of them. There's plenty examples around the world of people who have just operated in their comfort zone. You can find that everywhere. Look at people who are 50 or 60 that have stayed in their comfort zone. Look at people who are 30 that have stayed in their comfort zone. Look at anyone. There's things about that everywhere. But people who stay in their comfort zone rarely are the ones who are on stages, and they're rarely the ones who are writing books. They're rarely the ones who are inspiring people. They all have come out of their comfort zone. Even if they're working as a janitor at a high school, they got out of their comfort zone of maybe working a normal job and where they go into an office, and now they say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have the courage to do this because doing this job gives me more time with my family. So understanding, like, it matters, guys. Courage matters. Getting out of your comfort zone matters. Like, what is so good about being in your comfort zone? Being in your comfort zone doesn't even feel good. It doesn't even feel good being in your comfort zone. It just feels familiar. And how good is familiar? How good does that feel if you really think about it? Being in a familiar place, knowing all the people, how does that feel? How would you like to stay in high school your whole life? Like, how comfortable does that feel? Like, comfortable, familiar, like, really? Really? So it's like you have to understand that resourceful, be resourceful. Who can you reach out to? Like, if you send 1,000 messages out to 1,000 different Instagram people in a city you want to live in, saying you'll take their pictures, I guarantee you get people to write you back. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. It takes courage to sit down and send out 1,000 messages, but it's possible. And the advice that I would give is hire some help if you guys need it. Hire some help from someone who's done what you've done and listen to what they tell you. Don't question it, because you guys understand the life you have right now is because of the decisions you've made. And the decisions you've made have been made based off of the beliefs that you believe. And because you believe that, you've taken certain actions, and those actions have got you results. So if you want to change your results you're getting, you need to change your actions. And if you want to change your actions, you need to change your beliefs. And if you need to change your beliefs, you need to talk to someone or work with someone or listen to someone that has different ones than you. And don't question what they say, because your questioning is based off of your belief system that has got you where you are. Oh, that's it. It's simple. It's simple, but at the same time, it requires courage. With my clients, I'm shifting a lot of my coaching right now. I'm shifting my coaching to really helping people to share their story via content online, and preferably people over 50. Because I really like working with people over that age. They don't complain so much about paying high prices, because it's not about the money anymore. They realize it's about the impact. Like, I started to realize that, and I was like, wow, like, it just takes courage for them. They haven't had courage for 45 years. They haven't had to. So of course, putting yourself out online where people can judge you, and if you really care about what people think, now you're taking it to a whole nother level. This is the reason why it's so important. Find people who can help you. It's the simplest thing. Listen to things that will inspire you. And when you start to do this, you'll start to see your whole world start to change. Okay. What's up, Mario? You're probably from Kharkiv. I was in Kharkiv. I got a lot of friends there, and people like family to me, actually, in the small cities outside there. You're one of the reasons I'm in Plan 57 sharing my story. I love that. I love that, Smiling Buddha. I love that. How's that going, by the way? You sharing your story online. How's it going? I was thinking in my head, like, I can't believe I forgot my water bottle during this call. And I realized my water bottle was being used to hold my phone up. Let me get some water real quick. Cheers. Meet soon in a subscriber meetup in Kiev. When I'm back in Kiev, we will have a subscriber meetup. In Poland as well. We're gonna have a meetup in Poland. We're gonna have a meetup everywhere. Anywhere where there's people who have supported me, we'll always have a meetup, people, if I can. But on that note, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Giving out 2 clarity calls. It's a free coaching session I give to my community. 1 on Instagram, 2 here on YouTube. YouTube, you got to send me an email. It's in the description. And IG, just got to send me a message, and I'll pick the first 2 people. And on that note, guys, thank you for being here. Speak to you all later. And in the meantime, everyone, remember to work hard, be brave,